6-year-old Kabir salutes his father. Colonel Manpreet Singh's mortal remains. The entire world saw Colonel Munindranath Rai's daughter pay her respects to her fallen father. From Ganga to Tamanna, India's daughters paid respects to their fallen father. But how long will Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror bleed India? How can India impose costs on terror state Pakistan? And that's our top focus on India First.
In the past, Indian soldiers have carried out a surgical strike post that Uri terror attack. Post Pulwama, Balakot airstrikes were carried out. Article 370 has been defanged, but Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror continues to bleed India at a time when Pakistan is virtually being torn apart. Pakistan Army has retreated from several pockets along the Afpak border, especially in Chitral. There is major trouble that Pakistan is facing in Chitral. There is trouble in Gilgit and Baltistan in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. That state sponsor of terror, Pakistan, is virtually bankrupt, and yet radical Islamic terror continues to bleed India. Is it then time to neutralize that trinity of terror? Hafiz Muhammad Saeed, that Maulana of terror Masood Azhar, and Daud Ibrahim Kaskar, the main accused in the 1993 Mumbai blast, living in Karachi, Pakistan. And of course, equally important, their masters, their handlers at Appara, at Pakistan ISI headquarters. What are India's genuine options? We debate. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started with the headlines at 10. Nation bids farewell to our brave hearts. Colonel Manpreet and Major Ashish cremated with full military honours. Anantnag encounter continues for the third straight day. Rocket launchers used at terror hideout. Sanatan controversy reaches the Supreme Court after a plea is filed seeking an FIR against DMK leader Udaynidhi Stalin. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan questions the silence of the Gandhi family on Udaynidhi's remarks. Ahead of the special session of Parliament, BRS Chief and Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao writes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, urges Women's Reservation Bill to be passed in this special session. India-Canada ties remain frosty. Sources say the free trade agreement negotiations between the two countries have now been paused. Talks to resume only after differences are settled. Bollywood betting app Nexus unravels. India Today accesses exclusive video of Bollywood stars performing at the Betting Kings UAE wedding. 200 crore rupees were allegedly diverted via Hawala for this birthday bash. I want to get you the latest from the counter-terror operation that's still on in Anantnag. The Lashkar-e-Taiba hideout in Anantnag is now directly being targeted by the Indian Army. You have the 19th Battalion of the Rashtra Rifles. You also have one para special forces. You also have other elite forces, special forces that have now been deployed and right in the heart of action. These are images of some time back. We are not showing any live images. The operations are on, and in these images, and we'll get you details because unmanned aerial vehicles and quadcopters are being used, in which you can see the terrorist is being chased. A terrorist is running away after a strike by a quadcopter. This is the first image of Anantnag. There you can see that terrorist who's running there. India Today's access exclusive drone footage. I quickly want to cut across to India Today. Also here, okay, give me a moment. Hear what is happening on ground for a moment. We'll play these images full frame for you. You can see that terrorist running away. Listen in.
इस साइड आ रहा है, इस साइड आ रहा है। मुंह के साइड से नीचे भागा है।
फायर करो जल्दी जल्दी, राइट साइड में
बंदा नीचे की साइड भागा। ये इस साइड आ रहा है, इस साइड आ रहा है। मुंह के साइड से नीचे भागा है।
फायर करो जल्दी जल्दी, राइट साइड में
बंदा नीचे की साइड भागा। ये इस साइड आ रहा है, इस साइड आ रहा है। मुंह के साइड से नीचे भागा है।
फायर करो जल्दी जल्दी, राइट साइड में
बंदा नीचे की साइड भागा। ये
So in this Anantnag operation, contact has been established with the terrorist. A contact has been established with the terrorist. You can see these images, and this is where technology comes in very handy. India Today's Ashraf Vani has accessed these exclusive images. Ashraf, you've been reporting from ground zero. You've been speaking to your sources in the army. Bring us the latest in this operation and describe these images for our viewers here at India First.
Gaurav, basically this is the first clue not only with the army but in fact with all in public domain, that first time the movement of terrorists in the Kukarnag forests has been captured by the drone camera. And as we are showing to our viewers that this is not our own footage, this is the footage of army who are using the technology of drones and the copters in this particular operation. In fact, big drones were used. Also, the explosives was dropped by the drones on the hideouts, specific hideouts, the location of which was already available with the police and the army. And now in this drone camera, this footage got captured where some bombs are being dropped on a hideout, and not only a movement of a person which is believed to be the terrorist is being seen, but also the other belongings of the hideout, that includes some green sheets, some polythene sheets, and some other setup, which is clearly visible in this footage. And also the big breaking news which we now on India Today are breaking, that the contact has been established between the security forces and the terrorists after 3 days, and that is why the huge firing going on currently when we are here speaking on India Today between security forces and terrorists, because otherwise in other operations,
yes,
when it is dark, no fire took place, because there is always the danger of casualties or injuries to the own soldiers, because there could be a misunderstanding. But what we are learning from the ground now, that the fresh firing has resumed at the site of operation in Kukarnag, and that clearly indicates that contact has been established, because there was a
no, this rat will be killed. I am confident. I am confident the Indian Army will neutralize this radical Islamist terrorist Uzair Khan apparently, and apparently there are 2 foreign terrorists also. Ashraf, is that your information? At least 2 Pakistani terrorists and 1 Uzair Khan of Kokarnag. Is that the information? And are all terrorists together, or have they split up? Have they spread out? What's the information you picking up?
Gaurav, basically not only the Corps Commander of the 15th Corps, but in fact the Director General of Jammu and Kashmir Police and ADGP Kashmir, Vijay Kumar, are personally monitoring this operation since Wednesday, when the 2 officers of army and 1 officer of police were martyred in that operation, and also 4th soldier who succumbed to injuries today in the army hospital. So it was a big challenge for the army as well as for the police, because they were already claiming that almost all soon Jammu and Kashmir will be the free Jammu and Kashmir, and that unfortunate incident happened. This is not first time this kind of incident or this kind of attack by the hiding terrorists has been carried out
Yes.
in the Jammu and Kashmir. There were several such incidents, not only here on this side of Pir Panchal, but on other side of Pir Panchal in Poonch and Rajouri. But on day one, not only army, but in fact police also confirmed that they have encircled this
Stay
group
with me,
of
stay
terrorists,
with me.
which
I
had
want to bring
delivered
in
two to
Lieutenant
three.
General KJS Dhillon, who joins us on the broadcast. General Dhillon, I also have General Sharma, Rakesh Sharma joining me on the broadcast. But General Dhillon, you've commanded the Chinar Corps. I know there's an operation that's currently underway, but this drone footage actually shows a terrorist running away, and the drone kind of exposes the kind of the thick tree cover that's available, the altitude, the jungle that this terrorist is operating in. This must be a very difficult operation. General Dhillon, you've commanded troops here, sir.
Good evening, Gaurav, and good evening to all your viewers. Good evening to General Rakesh Sharma also. I must say, in the overall situation, Indian Army and the Jammu Kashmir Police, when they operate together, all available technical, technological, tactical and human assets are utilized for that operation to be successful. I will not divulge the details of technical and technological assets which the forces have and which they are using. Since I commanded that corps, I am aware of it, but not going into the details of technology per se which we possess. I can tell you the jungles are thick, the tree cover is very, very thick, underground foliage or undergrowth is also thick because of the monsoon season which are just nearing completion. These are the forests which have primary jungles, secondary jungles and tertiary jungles.
Yes.
There are land patches in these areas which have not seen the sunlight in history. The foliage and the tree cover is so thick. So technology also has its limitation. Notwithstanding that, Indian Army is using all technology available to make sure the terrorists are homed down, cornered and neutralized.
Sir,
It's a matter of time. It's a very tough terrain.
Yes.
It's a very, very difficult area.
Absolutely. My point is, killing these terrorists is important. Killing these terrorists is very important. Isn't it more important or equally important to neutralize their handlers across the line of control, General Rakesh Sharma? Because these terrorists, they are that's like pruning the leaves of a terror tree or cutting branches. We should be striking the roots, should we not, General Sharma?
Thank you for inviting me, Gaurav, and I wish to condole the tragic deaths of three brave hearts of the Indian soil, and what a great loss it is always. We've seen 5-6 commanding officers being given the ultimate sacrifice in the course of last 10 to 15 years. So, it's always a grave sorrow to see a commanding officer losing life like this. Now, having said that, I want to make 2-3 first points before I come down to Pakistan and how should we address it. One is that there is an apparently a feel that the information was maybe doctored, or the informant may have been a double agent. So a trap was laid in which the trap was laid, or an ambush was carried out only against the commanding officer, his company commander, and the police DSP who lost their lives, because the other soldiers were not addressed, the scouts and all people who were in front of them were not addressed, and the targeting was carried out to the highest command and control structure there. So it looked like as if there was a double agent in the work. Second, I noticed the footage being shown by your optical cameras, which have been on the drones. But the fact of the matter is that despite the tree coverage, and which General Tiny Dhillon has kindly pointed out, there is always a advantage of taking thermal sensors on drones even before the troops are launched into operation. And thermal sensors we are able to see through the foliage, especially when the first bullet is fired. Then you know exactly what is happening and where people are located, and you can follow them better. So I think we require to upgrade to thermal sensors with tabs available to the platoon commanders to see exactly what's happening and in real time, even before the operations are launched. We need to upgrade to that kind, including the helmet-mounted thermal optical sights as much as possible to be able to see the foliage. As the foliage is dense, the fire must have been carried out against the commanding officer at a shorter distance. So it's it would be easier to follow in case we were wearing thermal sights at that time. And third issue I wish to raise is that despite the fact that there has been a great improvement in the situation in J&K, but suffice it to say that there are also 6 to 7 incidents which are happening every month. And if you calculate the casualties which are happening of the terrorists, last year 2020 we had over 150 terrorists killed in total J&K.
Yes.
This year is much less. Now, finally, the question that you actually rightly raised, Gaurav, the fact of the matter is that we have to make the whole systemic of terror that is wrought by the Pakistanis for any reason whatsoever, G20 or their own internal situation or economic situation, what happened in Chitral, what's happening in Baluchistan, whatever the reason is. The fact is, we have to make it costly for the Pakistanis to do what they are doing. And as costly as possible.
As costly as possible, as you very rightly point out. And let's take this step by step. General Dhillon, terror continues to bleed us despite Article 370. Despite Balakot being bombed, despite that surgical strike. Sir, you've commanded the Kashmir Corps at a very difficult stage. When Article 370 was being abrogated, you were commanding. When Balakot was happening, you were commanding. Sir, 4 years down the line, terror continues to bleed us. Where have things gone awry in your appreciation?
Gaurav, in any military campaign or counter-terrorist operations, to bring the situation up to an acceptable levels of violence is easy. Consolidation phase, which we are now passing through to eliminate the last terrorist on ground, is the most difficult phase. It's time-consuming, it is tiring. It takes toll on the soldiers, it takes toll on everyone involved in that. And because the number of terrorists has gone down, the contacts will reduce. But since the movement of soldiers and the movement of security forces personnel is visible, can be seen, it is easy to hit them when you want to. But notwithstanding that, the type of work our security forces are doing on ground, the type of support we are getting from the public, the awam, the type of intelligence which is coming through. Now coming back to this operation also, it was a very intelligence-based operation. The intelligence came. The commanding officer, realizing the importance of the intelligence, himself led from the front. That means he was very sure it's a hard hit. And the contact happened. Now, it is just a bad luck that the first volley of bullets got the command elements. I would like to say everything was perfect. Intelligence was there, contact happened, we reached there in the thick of jungles. Unfortunately, it was just a bad day for us. It was not our day that day. Otherwise, a very well planned ant-based operation. We can go into the nitty-gritties of why things went wrong. That's a separate issue. But the operation was launched based on intelligence, and based on the same intelligence, commanding officer leading got the contact. That means operation was well planned.
General Sharma,
that's a separate issue that it was not our day, and I feel bad about it.
Absolutely, sir. No, completely take that point, sir. General Sharma, what would hurt Pakistan's military jihad complex? We've done a surgical strike. We've done a Balakot airstrike. Article 370, it put Pakistan in tailspin. How do you inflict pain on Pakistan, especially this military jihad complex, that they think 10 times before inflicting pain on us?
So I think, Gaurav, we have discussed many of these issues over a very long period. Let's start creating the infrastructure for diverting Indus water. It is not one day that we can stop Indus water in any form. The Chinese are making 14 dams on Yarlung Sangpo without even telling us. They are making a massive dam close to the Great Bend. Well, Chinese can do so without telling us we have a treaty which is existing of old times. We start creating infrastructure now. It may take a little time, but it will create a message that will go for far long distance, saying that we are now planning to divert waters of Indus and will not allow the waters to come across there. That thing will hurt them tremendously because of the entire wheat bowl will go for a 6. We start making, see, most of the trade that goes across there goes across via Dubai, UAE, and get diverted across on the high seas, or from Dubai and comes across to Pakistan. They are still dependent on Indian goods. Let's plan in a manner that we make life more costly and difficult for them, as it is their economy is in sinking in many manners.
Yes.
We must not do any 1.5 or any 2.0 track talks which could go around behind the scenes. It is not worth it, and I agree with many of the commentators saying that this cricket and all, okay, enough is enough. Yeah, we played cricket over last 70 years. It has not helped us, and none of the people-to-people contact supported us.
Absolutely.
Let's get on with it and saying, okay, enough. We are not getting involved with us. You try all this. And then, of course, there are military options, which I don't think it is relevant now here to speak today.
Absolutely.
But there could be many military options which can be tried across there in very manner, all across the IB and the line of control. And we could target them. And I'll add one point, just allow me.
Go on, sir.
Look at what's happening in Gilgit-Baltistan.
Yes.
The Gilgit-Baltistan is in turmoil today, from Gilgit to Skardu. Well, the situation is right to tell the people of the Baltis and the Gilgitis that, okay, enough is enough. Yeah, you know, this is a state which has not supported you over 75 years. And I think time is right for us to raise issues here.
Absolutely. General Dhillon, you've also been Director of Intelligence, Defense Intelligence Agency. You've headed DIA. General Dhillon, how many more Kabirs will we see in tears crying for Colonel Mandeep Singh? How many more Alkas will we see crying for Colonel Rai? How many more Tamannas for Colonel Ashutosh Sharma? How many more casualties will we see before raising the cost for Pakistan state-sponsored radical Islamic terror? What more do we need to do in your appreciation, sir?
Gaurav, I totally agree with General Rakesh Sharma. See Gilgit-Baltistan, see Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, see the Durand Line, see the Balochistan, see the Sindh area. I would like to say it's not only the military options. We need to apply the diplomatic pressure, we need to apply the economic pressure, and of course our nation has the political will. I'll put it very bluntly, patient is showing signs of recovery in Gilgit-Baltistan, in KPK, in Durand Line, in Balochistan, in Sindh. When the patient is recovering, repeat the dose. Just bloody repeat the dose. Kill the thing. We need to do it by all means, not only military. We need to support the freedom fighters of Balochistan. We need to do everything which Pakistan has been claiming to be doing in Kashmir. Repay in the same coin and repay the where it hurts the most. इतना महंगा कर दो कि धंधा छोड़ दे. Make it so cost, abundantly big that they just leave this business. We need to convey it, we need to do it, not only by one method. Military is one option. There are other options. We should go all throttle blasting.
General Rakesh Sharma, General Dhillon, I agree with you entirely, sir. General Sharma, when leaders like Farooq Abdullah, who've been former Chief Minister of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, when they say engage with Pakistan for peace, this kind of conversation, especially by people who were at the helm of affairs when terrorism started in Jammu and Kashmir and they fled overseas, does this actually give cover fire to Pakistan?
So did not we engage Pakistan in the course of our history? We have always attempted to engage. There have been two prime ministers. The Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who took a bus to Lahore and went to the Minar in Lahore. The Prime Minister Modi went, invited Nawaz Sharif to come for his swearing in, and also he landed up for the marriage of his granddaughter. I mean, this is a very serious action carried out by Prime Minister Modi to land up in Lahore, where things could have gone wrong. Despite all our effort, and we have made efforts till the ceasefire to reach out to them, but that it has not succeeded. So the talks, the politicians will talk into their constituency. That constituency talk is not important for us. For us, we understand the real politics. Real politics states that talking has not helped us with Pakistan in 7 decades. We have shown
talking has not
ordinary.
Helped. Yeah. Absolutely. Talking has not helped. Playing cricket has not helped. People-to-people contact has not helped, because there is empirical evidence to show every time we played a cricket series with Pakistan, a bilateral series, it was followed up by a very major terror attack. 2004, 2005, 2006, we had 200 casualties in Mumbai. In 2006, 2008, we had 166 casualties. After each engagement, we have lost lives, and it's now time to wake up. It's now or never. General Dhillon and General Sharma for joining me here on this India First special. Gentlemen, many thanks. I just pray to God, more Tamannas, more Kabirs, more Alkas do not cry for their father, and we stand together fighting Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror.